we are. We're here for the annual Innovate Mississippi Accelerate Conference. All these great technology companies, many of them startups here in the Magnolia State, are demonstrating their wares and showing everything that's going on. And sometimes they're trying to pitch folks to get some capital. And in other cases, they are just trying to show what they're doing to get some customers potentially. So, all right. So we are now pleased to welcome Jamie Miller, the CEO of the Gulf Coast Business Council. Jamie, good to see you again. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, good morning. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So what exactly brings you here today, Jamie, in your role with the Gulf Coast Business Council?
Yeah, the Gulf Coast Business Council saw a need in the entrepreneurial kind of sector to get an initiative started. We kicked off earlier this year called Startup Gulf Coast. Create, launch, accelerate. And we're partners with Innovate Mississippi to do that. They've got, I think, 8 ecosystem partners around the state. The Business Council was selected to be one of those partners on the Gulf Coast. And so, as you can imagine and what you see just day to day, like startup companies, AI, technology, we really are trying to fill a gap that I saw on the Gulf Coast to really amplify what those young founding companies were trying to do, match them with mentors, match them with investors. Traditionally, we're more involved in, traditional industry, larger business corporations. But I really think the future, and we've seen this in the state and around the country, is we've got to give more attention to these startup companies in Mississippi.
Yeah, and in particular, we want them to not only start here, we want them to stay here.
That's right.
And that's what's most important. But I feel like, Jamie, that with the success we've had in landing some of these big economic development projects, major household names, right, and involved in the technology industry, my experience of being in the technology industry is there's a tendency to concentrate around these big guys like this. And so the big AWS project, for example, in central Mississippi, I think will have a cascading effect that will actually draw lots of other related technology companies that may not have a direct business relationship with AWS. They just kind of like to be around it. And that's good for Mississippi because we want those companies based here and doing business here.
Yeah, when you get a name like AWS coming to Mississippi, it captures the national attention.
Yeah.
Companies trying to start up want to be around those larger companies. Capital's been an issue probably in this part of the country.
Yeah.
I think we're answering some of those issues. They want customers like AWS or clients. So I really feel like we're at a great position. The Lieutenant Governor talked about it earlier this year, just with the fiscal responsibility the state has taken. And conferences like this today, we had a pitch competition earlier this year. One of our winners went on to pitch yesterday to a statewide group here. Talked a lot about blockchain and making blockchain easier. And I clearly don't understand all the technicality of that, but AI has just become a part of almost all the pitch companies that are pitching in some way. And it's time to embrace it, and so we want to do that.
Yeah, you're so right. In the business world these days, these CEOs and executives that are making speeches at various events and conferences might even be their own, might be their update to the analyst on Wall Street. If they don't include artificial intelligence about every other word, right, the investors and the outsiders may say, wait, you guys aren't participating in this revolution, in this wave, which I think is just fantastic. I think, honestly, there's so much benefit to be derived from that. And the good news, Jamie, down in your way, Dr. Colin Napier at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, who heads up this Mississippi Artificial Intelligence Network. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College has got it going on. I mean, all of them do, but that's kind of the epicenter of it.
Yeah, I think he's leading Maine, the network. We've also got, we're going to build the Mississippi Cyber Initiative, which is going to come online with the building the Mississippi Cyber Center in Biloxi. Cybersecurity is going to be another opportunity for tech companies to get involved and cluster around a density of federal and state investments, and then hopefully we'll draw those private investments around it.
So what do you hear from your business members that are part of the business council? Do they express fear about this new technology? Do they embrace it? They're kind of in a wait-and-see posture right now?
The ones that I've talked to, the CEOs like Ingalls Shipbuilding or Hancock Whitney or even Chevron, they clearly are embracing it. They clearly are on the front edge, I think, of customer engagement. They see it as enhancing their businesses, making them more efficient. Obviously, there's probably there's always a question of how many jobs will be replaced with AI. The question is, if you're not using AI, you're definitely going to be replaced.
Yeah.
So the feedback we've had is that it's being embraced widely.
It's Jensen Huang, of course, the founder, CEO of NVIDIA, who says on a regular basis, AI is not going to take your job. Somebody using it's going to take your job.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Well, that's good to hear because anytime you have new technology, honestly, it's been that way since I've been in the industry. The AI just happens to be the widget of the day.
Yeah.
But there's always some resistance to change and fear of the unknown, and that's all valid. But I think we have to accept this is reality, and I believe it's a matter of national security and future posterity. So I think we're in good shape there.
Yeah, our annual meeting we hosted earlier this year in Biloxi, we had a speaker come and talk about AI. It's kind of starting at the 101 all the way to very advanced thoughts about AI. We want to introduce it to the folks that maybe have some reluctance about embracing it.
Sure.
But also give examples of how mainstream industries are already using it to their advantage. And you don't, if you're probably certainly 25 or younger, even 30 or younger, you don't have to convince that generation about it. I mean, they're
using it all the time, every day, and it's become sort of part of their mainstream life. For the most part. Well, that's good to know. But it feels like that Mississippi, this is an area where we're not lagging or we're not following, that we're leading. I think with Dr. Napier, that we have the AI task force that's been created. We've got lots of companies creating tools that have AI infused in them. It seems like we're doing well there.
I feel like AI is kind of it levels the playing field, even for our organization. I use it widely for just like administrative efficiency and those types of things. But you take AI, anybody that's willing to kind of dig into it a little bit, apply it, are going to create small, individual, powerful companies. And there's no reason Mississippians who have traditionally been creators, frankly, are going to take this new technology and apply it. I think we've got just as great a chance of success as anybody.
I totally agree. So one of the things, as you know, that's critical from a business perspective is you can have, I was just talking about in the last segment, you can have a great idea, but generally speaking, you need some money.
That's right.
You need some money to turn that idea into something that is marketable and monetize it. And the good news is an event like this brings together those ideas with the providers of that capital.
Yeah, capital has always been what, as I appreciate it, was kind of the missing piece in Mississippi. It's concentrated in Boston, New York, Chicago, Austin, Silicon Valley. But even those venture capitalists or those investors are recognizing that the companies they're supporting don't have to be in those markets. They can be anywhere.
Right.
And events like today bring that attention to these companies. The pitch competition that was held yesterday, the partnership with Microsoft.
Yeah.
All those things are gaining greater attention, and investors are noticing. So.
Well, you see the exhibitors here today that are in front of us. We've got accounting firms. We've got financial institutions. We've got just outside investors. We've got lawyers. All of those are the ingredients and the elements you need when you're starting a company.
Yeah. Well, you were in business for a long time, and I suspect at some point in that running a company, you felt like you were always talking to your accountant, your attorney.
Yeah.
Everything becomes a legal
financial
question.
Partners.
Yeah. Contractual.
Yeah.
And so that's same true with someone that's just starting a new company. It's the basis for how their company is going to exist and grow. And so, that's why they're here. They see the value in it, and hopefully they're making some connections today.
Yeah, and I think the good news is that ecosystem is alive and well and thriving here in Mississippi. So we're well positioned for these entrepreneurs to pitch their ideas, get some capital, get some advice from accountants, lawyers, and turn those into most importantly, great Mississippi companies. That's
Right.
what we want.
We don't want to just launch them here. We want to keep them here.
Yeah.
And the Business Council is trying to do its part in our part of the state. Like I said, we've launched Startup Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
You can go to our website, startupgulfcoast.com. Get involved. We're going to host 3 networking events over the next couple months to invite entrepreneurs, people interested maybe in getting more information about it. So we're going to continue to build our ecosystem on the coast.
Before we go, we got just a few seconds. The networking events may be the most valuable thing you do. Would you agree?
I thought I knew how to network, and I show up at one of these events, and you have just 10 people walk up to you. You know, they know, entrepreneurs know how to be assertive and figure it out.
It's critical.
And so, yeah, I've given a bunch of cards. I don't know if I can help every one of them, but sometimes it's just the connecting them to the next person
exactly
they
right.
need is
just
what
being
matters.
resourceful.
Yeah.
Jamie Miller, CEO of Gulf Coast Business Council, has been our guest. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Yep. We're stepping aside for a break. The Element